Welcome back. Happy Friday. It is indeed Friday here in the States where I am. It's indeed Friday. We are back with another F1 video in which you guys know what time that is. We are back with the last two liveries of the last two teams. Alpine and Mercedes both dropped the last two cars. But first and first, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing good, amazing, stupendous, outstanding, and absolutely terrific on this lovely Friday, man. We got the Bahrain testing coming up. We're about 2 weeks away, I think we're about 2 weeks away. Season is upon us. Looking forward to it. Should be another great season. Drive to Survive, I think, comes up next week as well. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. But let's go ahead and let's hop into the last two teams liveries, man. Starting off with Alpine. I got it on my phone, but I will have it on the screen as well. It looks nice. I like it. Tad bit similar last season. Still have that Racing Point type of feel to it, but I do like it. Not that big of a difference. Probably just the front it's like white instead of blue. But besides that, it's not really too much of a difference. Cool car, nice car, but yeah. Then also Mercedes. I like the new Mercedes. So obviously last season it was a gray. This season it went with the full black. Damn near. It looks cold. It looks nice. It looks absolutely nice. This last Mercedes delivery, man. The all black's looking smooth. It's looking like Dark Knight type of vibes. Looking like Mercedes is really back on track. Looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Hopefully no damage goes to that car. Hopefully that car leads to some wins this season as well with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. But we should see. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite car livery from the opening? You know, the grand reveals of all of them, man. Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, we have, what do reserve drivers do in F1? So obviously, Mick Schumacher is a reserve driver for Mercedes. I think Daniel Ricciardo is a reserve driver as well for Red Bull. I think, if I'm correct, I could be wrong. Shout out F1 Education. Let's go ahead and hop straight into the video. Don't forget to like the video. Sub as well as always if you are new to the channel. Amen. Say man. Let's just start it up, man. Let me just shut up. Let's get it.
If you are a fan of Formula One, you might have wondered what happens if a driver is sick or unable to compete. For example, in the 2022 Italian Grand Prix, we saw that Nick De Vries drove for Williams in place of the injured Alex Albon. In this video, we will explore the topic of reserve drivers in Formula One. Let's get started. Reserve drivers, also referred to as test drivers, play many roles within a Formula One team. The most obvious being to sub in for a regular driver who is unable to participate in the race weekend. Beyond the role of substitute, the reserve driver actually plays a big role within a Formula One team. Car development. Back at the factory, the reserve driver spends countless hours in the simulator helping the team prepare for the upcoming races. The work done in the simulator helps the team perfect the setup of the car before the first practice session of the race weekend. In 2021, Formula One pundits praised Alex Albon, who was reserve driver for Red Bull at the time, for his significant efforts in the factory. Team principal Christian Horner has mentioned that Albon's efforts in the simulator was crucial for the team to win the Drivers' Championship.
So I actually didn't know that. I didn't know reserve drivers have that much of an impact regarding the makeup of the car and stuff like that. Because I really thought they were just, they were just there just in case. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Minutemen. They are ready on a minute's notice. That's what I thought these guys basically were. Like they are still part of the team. They do have some, I guess, words, decision, a voice in certain things. But I didn't know they actually play in part in terms of like the development of the car. But since they are the reserve driver for that team, it does make sense because just in case if they do have to go in and drive, they're gonna be ready. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Alex Albon for that and actually, being a big part of it. Also, when he had a chance with Red Bull, it wasn't great. It was alright, but hey man, that's still pretty cool though.
In summary, reserve drivers often do much more work behind the scenes than full-time drivers do when it comes to car development. Driving commitments. Reserve drivers often are called upon to drive during the free practice sessions ahead of a Grand Prix. This kind of substitution is quite common. For example, Robert Kubica subbed in for Valtteri Bottas during the free practice sessions in the Hungarian Grand Prix for Alfa Romeo. In addition to these free practice sessions, reserve drivers often play a role in pre and post season testing when the car is being developed. They could also be called upon to drive at promotional events if needed. Some reserve drivers take part in other branches of motorsport. However, when called upon, they will tend to their Formula One duties. Liam Lawson, for example, is racing in Formula 2. Nick De Vries and Stoffel Van Dorn are racing in Formula E.
So that's what I didn't mention that, like, they're just ready whenever. I mean, if you need me to, drive the car for, FP1, FP2, I'll happily do it. Um, share my thoughts, share my ideas of how the car is on the track, stuff like that. Hey man, hey, if any F1 team needs a hey, your boy is happily ready, man. No cap. Just let me know what you need me to do. Listen, I don't even have to even drive the car. Yes, I said even about 10 seconds. I don't even have to drive the car. I can just look at it, observe it, you know, tell you, what I like and what I don't like. Hey man, just saying. I'm just saying. I'll happily be down
Now
for
let's
that.
look at a few interesting facts about reserve drivers. Reserve drivers are salaried employees, so they are paid similar to regular drivers.
That's
The
cool.
salary for a reserve driver is not disclosed by the team, so it's unclear how much these drivers can earn.
Good.
Similar to the regular drivers, it is likely that their compensation is tied to performance. Their contracts often have several bonuses attached, and if the driver achieves a goal that has been agreed upon between them and the team, they could get paid a bonus. Reserve drivers often have sponsors and also take up other commitments that may earn them money outside racing. Maintaining a super license. Just like regular drivers, reserve drivers need to have a super license. This
Super
is
license.
challenging in some cases because they get limited track time. By competing in other series such as Formula E or Formula 2, reserve drivers can build their super license points.
All right, hold up. So since Mick Schumacher, I think like I said, he's a reserve driver of Mercedes. Is he gonna be racing in like F2? Because he said that you have to maintain your your super license. So is Mick racing F2? I'm not. I don't know if I ever really asked or I don't know if I ever really came across to that because I don't know if I ever really heard anything about it. So
In addition,
just
as
throwing it out
discussed
there.
before, they are often given track time in free practice sessions to maintain their super license. F1 substitution rules. In order to be entered into a Grand Prix, a reserve driver must have taken part in at least one practice session. This rule impacted Haas in the 2021 Saudi Arabian
Oh
Grand
God,
Prix.
of
Mick
course.
Schumacher suffered a massive crash during the qualifying session and was unable to compete in the race. Haas had Pietro Fittipaldi available to replace Mick Schumacher but was unable to use him because he did not compete in any of the free practice sessions or
That's
qualifying.
dumb.
The final outcome was that Haas only had one car racing on
Hold
Sunday.
up.
Reserve
Hold
drivers
up. Hold up. I think my only concern about that specific rule is they are reserved. Like, why do they have to drive on the track? Now, listen. Always, I do see it from this point. Like, you can't just throw like the reserve driver out there without them even like getting the feel of the car on that specific track, getting to know that track just in general. So I do kind of like understand it, but like, but at the same time, I get it. You know what I mean? So, eh, but I get it. Eh, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it
drivers
though.
can be
But
brought in from other teams. Substitute drivers can come from other teams. We often see this. For example, in 2020, we saw George Russell
Oh, yeah,
replacing Lewis
yeah.
Hamilton when he had COVID.
I
George
remember
was
that.
racing for Williams at this time. This year, we saw the reverse scenario. Mercedes reserve driver Nick De Vries subbed in for Williams driver Alex Albon, as discussed before. Mick Schumacher is listed as the substitute for Ferrari.
Ooh,
If
that's
Carlos
pretty cool.
Sainz or Charles Leclerc is unable to compete, it could be Mick who takes their spot. Hope this video helped you learn about Formula One reserve drivers.
So if I'm racing with Alfa Romeo, right? That's my team. But then I'm also a substitute driver for a reserve driver for Ferrari. And let's say Carlos Sainz gets sick. I can just leave my team and drive a Ferrari, which basically what George Russell, I guess, did, which he did do. And actually, George actually did race pretty well at that race as well. That's that's interesting. That is interesting. That's interesting. But short video, very informative video though. You guys let me know your guys' thoughts about that, man, in the comments down below. Stay safe. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace.